Hey everyone, Jules here on Dropping Jules, and today we have Rocio with us. She's going to talk about everything real estate and just sharing life journeys and everything in between. So please welcome Rocio today. How are you? Happy New Year, my friend. Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you. Happy New Year. Are you
Thank
ready for
you.
2025?
I am so excited for 2025. This is my year, and I know there's so much exciting things coming, and super, super pumped. So, without further ado, let's hear about you, my friend. Tell me what's been going on and how you got started in real estate.
Hi, my name is Rocio, and I think probably a lot of you that are going to be watching this, you know me already. A lot of you know me. How did I start my real estate journey? Well, that was in 2022. In 2022, I joined this mastermind with a group of women online. It was like a 5 week mastermind, and I joined for the 5 weeks. I
Mhm.
mean, not the 5 weeks, I'm sorry, the 5 days. So at the end of it, they sell you something. So I was like, oh, I learned, well, in those 5 days, I learned what was wholesaling. I was like, oh, that sounds easy. I can
Yeah,
do that. Anyone
anyone
can
could
do
do it.
that, right? So it's
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm gonna look into this more. Um, and then she was teaching us also like, yeah, you can buy a house and then fix it up and sell it for this much more, and you make this much. I was like, oh, that sounds easy. Like
Mhm.
anyone can do that, right?
Anybody. Yes.
So it's like, okay, so that's how it started. So how internet, social media, they start like
Mhm.
giving you more of
Giving
what you're been watching or you've been
yes.
talking about.
Mhm.
So that's when Pace Morby came across my on my social media, right? So
Mhm.
I said, well, let me see what is this guy about. So I
Yes.
listened to him for about a week and I was like, oh, and then, like everybody else is like, okay, let me see, let me talk to somebody from the recruiting department. So yeah, I talked to them and I was in a position to join sub two right there.
Mhm.
So I joined sub two and
Mhm.
that's when everything started for me. So it's been 2 years already.
Wow, time flies.
Yes, yes, flies, flies. So, um, well, I did try to wholesale.
Mhm. Okay,
That
tell us
was just
about
not.
that.
That was like, okay, so you learn all the things, you join all the Zooms,
Mhm.
you like constantly, you sleep and breathe, like you breathe and drink and sleep and dream all about real estate, right?
Yes, yes.
For a long time. I used to do, but then you get more focus. So yeah, that was my first year. Like, okay, what am I gonna do? How can I make money? Like, I was so like too scared to go ahead and jump and buy a property subject to. So I didn't do
Okay.
that right away.
Mhm.
So I know Pace told me on the Zoom, like, just lend your money because I have some
Mhm.
savings, like just
Mhm.
lend your money. So that's how it started. I became a private money lender. I invested with
Mhm.
a couple investors in the sub two community. I was so lucky and blessed to invest with two good ones.
Yes.
And they paid off really well. Good experiences, great experiences with them. So um, that went well. And I was still like, okay, let me do some wholesaling. So I did try wholesaling for
Mhm.
about 3, 4 months. I got a couple properties under contract.
Mhm.
I could not sell them. So the contract fell. So
Mm.
it's like, I was like calling agent because I was doing direct to agent. I was calling
Okay.
agents every single day. And I just got to a point where I was exhausted. I was tired. I was like, I don't think I want to do this. So it's not for everybody. So wholesaling is not for everybody.
Yes, yes.
So by then, the top tier TC program had already been out for a couple months already,
Mhm.
maybe more than. because I decided to join Top Tier TC.
Okay, and TC stands for?
Tab Transaction Coordinator.
Okay, okay. So
We're
this
the
is kind of new
transaction
for a lot of people because everybody hears sub two and they know Gator. What is top tier transaction coordinator? Can you
Transaction
explain that?
coordinator. I joined the transaction coordinator mentorship in November, towards the end of November.
Okay.
I did the whole modules. It took me a while,
Hmm.
about 5 6 weeks.
Okay.
Um, and I didn't know I was gonna like it so much
Oh, okay. What
because
do you like about it? Like, what exactly is it?
I think the community, just like Sub two, we have a community and it's great.
Hmm.
Top tier TC mentorship has a community as well. And I will say it's like 80% female.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I really like the community. I really felt like safe to speak up and
Hmm.
just show my face on all the Zooms and ask questions.
Hmm.
So that was very, very fun. It's still fun.
Hmm.
And very, I feel safe. I guess I needed that, just to build
Yes.
that confidence.
Okay.
So yeah, but once I joined and I got my certification, I joined the Zooms, all the Zooms again, in the Subto community or outside of Subto community. And that was November, December. I started really good. Like I think I onboard like 3 files.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I finished the year good and I started the year good. And I
Awesome.
realized that I was helping a lot of the Hispanic community.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I got invited to different podcasts just for Hispanics, like people that only speak Spanish.
That's awesome.
And these communities are out of the Sub2 community, so they're not
Wow.
even in Sub2. So that was a really good opportunity for me to put myself out there
Hmm.
and help the Hispanic community. So
Hmm.
that gave me the idea to start a business, a transaction coordination business, a bilingual business
Oh, that's
for the
amazing.
Hispanic community.
Oh, wow. I love that. Before we go any further, for those watching and they're not sure exactly what a transaction coordinator does, can you explain a little bit? Where do you fit in the piece in the whole real estate transaction? If you can narrow that down for us.
Yes, well, a transaction coordinator can help you with reviewing the documents.
Hmm.
A lot of people out there, a lot of investors think that we're going to draft the documents for them, but we're not.
Okay.
We don't
Okay.
do that because we're not attorneys. We're not legally authorized or incapable to draft documents. So we don't
Okay.
draft documents. We don't fill out documents. Why? Because we're not the buyer. We're just overseeing the transaction and making sure all parties are in the same page, right? So
Okay.
the contracts are filled out by the people that are uh, doing the deal together, right? Whether it's an agent with a buyer, or whether it's a seller with a buyer, or
Hmm.
whoever is making those or this putting down on the table those terms, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
we look at the contract and we ask questions to make sure that we understand the full contract and the full terms. And
Hmm.
once everybody involved is like, yeah, that's the way we want to set up the contract, that's the way we want to do the deal, then we go ahead and open escrow for them.
Okay. Okay.
And we usually get hired by either the buyer, or
Hmm.
it could be a wholesaler that hire us as well, or it
Okay.
could be the seller, right?
Okay. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we also do transactions like lending transactions, like private money lenders. They want to make sure they have the right documents. They want to make sure everything goes through title.
Sure.
So whoever is our client, we're going to cater for them, right?
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we oversee the whole transaction. We make sure all the paperwork are in order. We make
Mm-hmm.
sure the title company is doing their job, and we keep them, like, we try to keep them um, in a time matter where we meet the due date. You know, the day
The
that we're
closing
supposed
deadline.
to be closing. Yes.
Okay, so let me
So
make sure I understand. So basically, you don't do the contracts. It's a responsibility of the buyer or the seller, but you overlook the documents to ensure that the transaction will be completed smoothly within the timeline set by, title, when you're closing title. So you ensure the
correct.
paperwork, everything's there, the names, the buyers, you open escrow, everything. So basically, you're there. Wow. You have a very important role ensuring that everything, all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, and ensuring that it goes to a smooth transaction to close. In a nutshell, basically.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, and we request all the documents that we need from title. We make sure that they're drafting the right documents that we need for that transaction. You'll be surprised how many title companies they wait to the end, or they show us the preliminary documents,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
they're not there.
Oh boy.
And then okay, so yeah, you'll be surprised how title companies, and I understand because they're busy. They're not working just with one client, they're working with hundreds of clients.
Mhm.
So
So,
yes, so we as a transaction coordinator, we want to make sure that every document that it's needed for that transaction is there.
okay. Can you give us an example? So, I know for a regular real estate transaction versus a lending transaction, you're going to have different documents. So, between an agent and a buyer, what are some documents that you would help to oversee? That's in the package for closing.
Well, you definitely, well, at the beginning, you want to look at the purchase contract, right?
Mhm.
And if we're talking creative, we want to make sure that we have all the acknowledgments for the seller and
Mhm.
signed by the seller, letting the seller know that this is a creative transaction.
Okay.
You want to
Okay.
have that because you don't want to have any problem in the future.
Okay. Okay.
Coming back the seller and say, "Oh, I didn't know this was happening. I didn't know that someone was going to just keep paying my mortgage and I was going to still be in the mortgage."
Right. Right.
So you want to have all of that straight away from the beginning.
Okay. Okay.
And then you want to make sure you have your promissory note, your
Hmm.
mortgage deed or deed of trust, your power of attorney documents for your buyer.
Hmm.
Um, you want to make sure the hats look correct. And
Correct.
you'll be
Yes.
surprised how many times those are not correct. I
Oh
would
wow. I
say
can't even imagine.
95% of the time they're not correct. So
Mhm.
that's why we review them before they send out those documents for closing, for
Closing.
signatures.
Sure. Sure.
So yeah, we reviewed those. We want to make sure we get title insurance for the new buyer. We want to make sure that um, we have a title report for this property and there's no liens that we're not aware of. So,
Hmm.
and this goes for a lender as well. For a
Sure.
lender, you almost want to have the same thing. And one thing that I would say to lenders is that always do your transaction through a title company to make
Always.
it protected.
Okay.
Always, yeah.
Sure.
It's the best, yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
I will suggest that. I was just asking a question today about self performance. I was like,
Hmm.
why do somebody will want to do a self performance on a uh, real estate transaction? Like, you
Hmm.
want to have that extra protection from the title company. You want your documents to be drafted by an attorney. You want to make sure that you have title insurance because you may not see a lien on
Hmm.
the during during escrow, but it
Hmm.
may appear later down,
Later on. Yeah.
like 2 3 years down the road. So you
Better
want
to
to
be
make sure
safe
that
than
you
sorry,
protect them. Oh yeah, yeah,
for sure.
100%.
Hmm.
Yes.
And thank you for explaining that as far as what's required between a real estate transaction and a lending transaction. So I know the paper will be different. Quick question for you: as far as closings, and you, how many closings have happened on time that you've experienced?
In one time, or you mean on?
Like on the transactions that you dealt with, like on time closings for the date that they actually
Oh,
said.
on
Yeah, okay,
time,
yes, on time.
0.
What's the most common delay for
The
closing
paperwork, the
transactions?
documents, the
That's why
documents.
you need a transaction coordinator to make sure everything is
Yeah.
there and you get closed on time. So please, please hire a transaction coordinator, hire Rocio to look at your paperwork.
Yes. Well, yes, you need someone that knows, or at least if you don't want to hire a transaction coordinator, at least go online and look for a checklist of what you need to
Mhm.
close this transaction, especially if it's creative, right?
Right, right.
Because you don't have anyone on your corner if because
Mhm,
you don't have a lender, you don't
mhm,
really have, most of the time you don't have an agent representing you.
mhm,
So I would say if you don't want to hire a transaction coordinator,
mhm,
at least like go get a checklist of what you need, you know.
mhm, mhm, for
So
sure.
because it's very crucial that you know what you need and what
Mhm,
you need in place so you can protect yourself. And at the same time, one of the things that I have experienced, you as a transaction coordinator, you also make sure that your seller is protected, because sometimes my first transaction,
mhm.
it was an older lady, and I got hired by the buyer, so I wanted to make sure that she was also protected as well.
Protected. Mhm,
Yes, with all the documents, like the buyer doing the right thing by her. So it's we I, at least in my business, that's my motto, right? Like I want
mhm.
to make sure the seller and the buyer are taken care of.
Sure, sure. Both parties, want it to be a win-win
Yes.
transaction for everyone. Sure, that
Right.
makes sense. Hmm.
Mhm.
What? So you said you transitioned. You were in sub two. You tried the wholesaling, and then you fell in love with TC world, transaction coordinator world. What about it um, brought you in, or excited you, and you have this constant love for it?
I At the beginning it was because I was like, okay, I want to leave my W-2.
Hmm.
I need to find a way to make active income.
Hmm.
Um, and I said, well, and somebody told me once, like, well, you either do fix and flips or you can become a TC. So I was like, okay, it sounds easier to become a TC for now.
Yes, yes.
So that was one reason why I became a TC. And the other reason is because I didn't want to start investing
Hmm.
and purchasing properties the creative way if
Sure.
I didn't know the documents. Like, what am I supposed to get? What am I supposed to look
Hmm.
at? How
Right.
am I supposed to protect myself? So it, I think the best part of it is that you are helping people to get the protection that you need
Hmm. Hmm.
with the legal documents.
Sure. And then, of course, making sure both parties are satisfied and understand what's going on, right? Because some
Yes,
people
and,
still
and
do.
and that is very, very rewarding. Like I said,
Mhm.
my first transaction, I helped this buyer buy a property in New Mexico. It was a little challenging because New Mexico is hard when it comes to creative, right?
Okay.
And it took us 3 months to close
Oh
that
wow.
file.
Mm.
And to the point that I became friends with the seller because she felt so comfortable talking to me about the situation she was in and everything. So that was very, very rewarding. So I think my first experience um, helped me to enjoy it
Hmm.
and made me realize that, okay, so this is not just about paperwork. It's not just about making some extra money. It's not about just helping the investor. It's about helping the seller too.
I love that. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
The
and
people vibe.
yeah, and I like it. Like I said, I love the community that Molly has created,
Hmm.
and it's just it feels good. It's like
Yes,
it gives me energy.
that's awesome.
So yeah.
I love that you're so happy with what you're doing. I can just tell you have that passion of helping people, and your role in it of ensuring. I mean, it's so rewarding when both sides, especially when you have a closing, right? And then on top of that, you're ensuring that people are protected, both the buyer and seller, and explaining everything to them. So that's huge. That's a huge win. And then you're transitioning into this new business where you're helping Hispanics. So tell us a little bit more about that. That seems to be very interesting.
Well, like I said, I got invited to a few podcasts from investors
Mhm.
that speak Spanish, and they invited me to talk to their community.
Mhm.
And I found at the beginning, I was like, okay, yeah, I can come and share what I know so far.
Mhm.
But over time, when like now that I will say that 90% of my transactions so far had been with with the
90.
Hispanic
Wow,
community.
that's amazing.
So I realized the need,
Mhm.
and also I realized that they don't know a lot about creative.
Mhm.
So they had been very like they don't think about hiring me. They're just like, okay, what is your fee? Let's send me the contract. I send you the deposit. So they know they need my services, and at the same time it feels like they trust me.
Mhm.
So that's when I said I thought about, like I'm gonna start the bilingual TC business here because
Yes,
it's needed.
it's
And
definitely.
talking to other people, their investors, they have shared with me that we have not heard about that. So yes, you need to start a bilingual TC services for all this Hispanic community. So yeah, I'm very excited, and my goal is to hire or bring to my team only TCs that speak Spanish. That's going to be
So,
a requirement. Yeah.
oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. You mentioned something quite a bit going through your journey on trust. People trust you. It's amazing because people will do backing up. Real estate is a relationship business, and people will do business with people they like and they trust, and especially doing what you're doing as far as looking over the paperwork, ensuring the promissory note, the contract, the memorandums, everything for creative, having the statement, the mortgage statement, ensuring everything's there, and being able to explain that to your clients. I think it's huge, and I can see why they trust you. I mean, you just have that bright smile, and your heart's open to just helping each other and in this community. So thank you for sharing that. It's huge.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you have to. You have to help people.
Hmm.
That's the goal. That's
That
the
is
goal. We're all here to help each other. We're all here to lift up each other.
yes, I agree. I
So,
agree. And I think, us being part of Pace's community, whether it's sub two, whether it's Gator, whether it's top tier TC, we find that within the community, we find that space where we can help people and truly help. Real estate is just a vehicle, right? And
mhm.
the higher calling is helping people, whether they're in need, they have a foreclosure and they want to stay in their property and you're helping them stay in the property, helping a transaction go through. So that has been my experience within Pace's community.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Hmm.
Yes,
So for
100.
someone starting out, they're seeing Pace Morby's, he's the greatest marketer I've ever come across. We have
Mhm.
sub two, we have Gator, we have top tier TC. How should someone choose? What would you recommend for them to choose? Which community to join? Of
I
course, I
think
would say join oil, but
No, I think it's what do you want to accomplish? Like,
Hmm.
what's your goal?
Hmm.
What's your goal? Like, I wanted to, I started because I want to invest in properties, right? I want to
Hmm.
build a portfolio where I have passive income.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, I'm still doing that. I still want to do that.
Hmm.
But if you want, like I said, okay, how can I make money quicker, faster, you know?
Right.
And then I saw the opportunity with Top Tier TC. So I joined Top Tier TC to create a business out of it,
Sure.
to have an active income.
Hmm.
So um, I mean, I did not join Gator because I was like, should I not? I don't know. Maybe I felt like we have everything inside the sub two community. We
We
do.
do. Hmm.
Um, but Top Tier TC was created specific for that role, right?
Hmm.
So,
Yes.
and like I said, my reason I joined is because I wanted to start something to bring me the active income.
Yes. Yes. For
So I'm
sure.
still investing in properties. You know, I have not bought my first property myself creatively. I
Hmm.
had been really close to it, and then something happens, and
Yeah.
that's okay.
Hmm.
But in this community, you meet so many people that over time, you know, you build good relationships. And I
Yes.
have become partners with someone, another member, and now we're acquiring properties together. You
Hmm.
know, so it all depends. You know, if you I mean, if you have $400,000 on your 401k and
Hmm.
you want to learn how to invest the money or multiply the money, maybe the good community for you is Gator, you
Yes.
know?
Yes. Hmm.
So it all depends what do you want to accomplish. I would say they're all great. At the end of the day, we're all mixed all together.
We are. Yes.
So it's like, okay, I think if you want to learn a little bit of everything, I would say just join sub two. If you
Mhm.
want to focus just on TC, join top tier TC. And if you want to just focus on lending, just join Gator.
Awesome. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing that because I think a lot of people are, you see it and then you're like, you join one and then like, oh, I should have joined this one. But you know what?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because even if you find the way, like you did, you joined Sub 2 and then you found your passion within Top Tier TC, which is fine. But you have that community within Sub 2 to go find out and help others and be their transaction coordinator on those deals.
Yeah.
So you're JVing with other buyers, sellers within our community, lenders, So it's good. It doesn't hurt. But I love what you said. Figure out what you want to do first, and then join the community accordingly. So thank
And
you
you
for
may
sharing.
not know right away what do you want to do or where are you going, but you'll figure it out. It will some people know it right away, some people don't. Some people it took me a year to
Hmm.
figure out like, okay, what am I going to do with this, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful that almost 2 years into this community, 2 years in sub 2 and 1 year in top tier TC, I'm grateful and blessed to say that I left my W-2. I'm working full time with an investors in as a TC. So it it takes time.
Congratulations. That's awesome. I mean,
Thank you.
you're
It takes
achieving your
time, but
goal. Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
it takes time. But you'll get there if you're consistent every day and you don't stop and don't take breaks. You just keep doing what you need to do. Keep doing the thing,
Hmm.
and you'll get there. You'll
I'm
get there.
glad you said that because sometimes we're all looking for these quick fixes. This is not a get rich quick scheme, right? It's all about consistent and doing the things. We do the hard work. What Pace tells us, right? We do the hard work, and it's consistency each day. And as you know, you left your W-2. Look at you. You're living proof. You're living the dream and doing what you want to do. And of course, that's going to, help you as you continue to grow your portfolio and invest in properties. That's the goal,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything else you want to share for a newbie, just saying, just joining sub two? Um,
I
and
would say I would say that one of the things that it helped me personally is just connect with other people.
yes.
Connect every day with people. Talk
Mhm.
to people all the time. In the Zooms, in person, in the meetups, um, over the
Mhm.
phone. Connect, connect, connect. I think I took me the first year. That's all I did. Connect with people. Connect with people, and it's gonna pay off. It's
Yes.
connecting with people. It's almost like a full-time job. It is.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
It
But
is.
it's such a joy though, because you're meeting new people, you're learning about people's experiences, and enjoying their journey, learning their journey. We all want real estate to be part of our life, but we weave and turn and have challenges, and we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So everyone's journey is different. That's why I love this.
Yes, yes. I would say connect with people and ask for help.
Ask for
Ask
help.
for
Okay.
ask questions and ask for help. Um, I think our, people our age, we were taught to not ask for help,
Hmm. Hmm.
like figure it out yourself.
Figure it yourself. Yeah.
But that's wrong. I mean, how? Like, how are we gonna figure it out if we don't ask for help? If we don't ask somebody that knows more than
Hmm.
what we know, or they've been there, so they have the experience. So I would say ask for help. Like,
That's awesome.
don't be afraid, don't be ashamed, don't be scared.
Hmm.
Ask for help. Yeah.
Okay, so connect, 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 and ask for help. I love it. I love it. So
Yes.
what brings me to the next part. So if someone wants to connect with you and to learn more about Top Tier TC or anything in general, just to connect, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you, Rocio?
I don't know if you can see my phone number on the
Hmm.
screen, but yeah, you can reach out to me, send me a text first, and then we can schedule a phone call, and yeah, we can connect that way. And I'm more than happy to help.
Awesome.
And if you speak Spanish, I'll be more than happy to help. And if you have, if you work with the Hispanic community, I would love to come and talk more about creative and the TC role, the transaction coordination role that we can help you. So yeah, we'll be more than happy to do that.
Love that. Love that. Any socials, or is it best social media, or is
Yes.
it best to just reach you by phone, by your cell phone?
Um, you can find me on Instagram at Rocio. I think it's Rocio P.
Okay, Rocio P. Okay.
Rocio P3. You'll find me.
Okay,
I'm
yes.
not good with social media, so or Facebook, Facebook too, Rocio Pineda, my full name. You can find
Awesome.
me there as well. So yeah,
Amazing, amazing. Well, thank you so much, Rocio. There you have it, guys. Rocio sharing all her nuggets on top tier TC, why to join, why you need a transaction coordinator, and how to get a hold of her. Rocio, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I really appreciate you sharing that and sharing from the bottom of your heart why you love top tier TC and how you got started on your journey. And I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
no, thank you, for the invite.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. See you guys on the next episode, and definitely reach out to Rocio if you want to know more about transaction coordinator and anything else that she'd love to connect and share with you. Okay. See you guys on the next episode. Bye.